Happy Thursday and welcome to the Huddle. Perfectionism can push you to work harder, which can be a good thing. It can be a motivator. But as we've talked about all week long, it's not a sustainable plan and the long-term effects are negative. So today we're talking about step 1 of overcoming perfectionism, and tomorrow we'll finish off the week with our final step of overcoming perfectionism. And step 1 is identifying and understanding your triggers. I say it all the time, you gotta name it to tame it. Name it to tame it. So identifying and understanding your triggers is a really 2-step process. First step is noticing the triggers of your perfectionism. So those traits we talked about on Tuesday, all or nothing, never satisfied, not enjoying the process, also the things we talked about that rooted in fear, comparison. So when do those things happen? Do you exercise every day because you're scared of gaining weight? Are you always comparing yourself to that woman on Instagram because you wish you and your family went on vacations more often? Do you work all the time and never feel like it's good enough? Are you never satisfied no matter how hard you work? So think through where these perfectionism tendencies traits come up. So notice them, right? So that's step 1. Step 2 is get curious about them. You really just want to understand where they're coming from. It's not to change them, to fix them, it's just to be curious. Remember that perfectionism is rooted in fear, so you need to understand what you're scared of. What causes the behaviors that we talked about, the comparison, the striving, the dissatisfaction. And get curious with yourself like you would a scared child, because a lot of our fears, or most of our fears, are based in when we were children. That's where they started. And oftentimes, if we think about it, we can pinpoint an actual situation. So, how old were you when that fear originated? Were you criticized as a child about your weight? What do you need to let that go? Who do you need to forgive? What did that moment lead you to believe about life? So when you get curious, you start asking yourself questions to understand more. So did that moment lead the criticism as your child for weight or whatever, for food, it teach you that love is tied to what you look like? And also remember that even it's not about what the person who said it meant. It's what you perceived. Because even if your aunt or your mom criticized you, they might have been trying to say it to motivate you, but what did you internalize? That's all that matters. And who do you need to forgive? That is not external forgiveness. You might need to forgive yourself. You might need to forgive your dad, and that doesn't actually mean having a conversation. Closure really just happens within. So who do you need to forgive to move on? And that forgiveness does not need to be outward. This is all an internal process. And this process is going to feel super uncomfortable, but remember, you are not your emotions. And this is a huge reminder. This is a huge practice in reminding yourself of that, because you're letting yourself go to that scary place and just sit with it. You're not pushing it away. You're just sitting with it to understand it. And the second thing you need to remember during this process, that you are safe. All kinds of things may come up, all kinds of discomfort, but in this moment, in the moment you're sitting in while you're thinking through of all these uncomfortable things, you are safe. So you can't change your behavior and actions if you don't understand them. So take some time to understand your perfectionism and what triggers your perfectionism traits. And tomorrow we'll finish the conversation with the final step of overcoming perfectionism. Thank you so much for watching the Daily Huddle with me, Life Coach Franzani. Every week I pick a theme and I discuss strategies all around what it takes to be better every day. Because here we don't hope to have a good life, because hope is not a strategy. We work to live our very best lives. I'll see you here bright and early tomorrow to finish our conversation on perfectionism. Give yourself an amazing day.